Turning our monitors to the Middle East, Israeli cabinet members approved plans to intensify its offensive in Gaza, and it includes seizing more territory and call up additional troops. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu also promised to retaliate against Yemen's Houthi rebels after a missile strike briefly shut down Israel's main airport over the weekend. The explosion happened near an access road, injuring 4 people. Let's bring in BBC correspondent Hugo Bachega for more on all of this. Israel says it will conquer and hold Gaza territories. What could this mean for the remaining hostages?
Yes, I've got to say we haven't seen the plan. There hasn't been any kind of official announcement following the approval of this plan by the Israeli Security Cabinet. We've had some Israeli officials briefing journalists with details of the plan. And I think the key details are that this plan involves capturing and holding territory in Gaza and also moving Gaza's population towards the south of the territory. I think a few points here. First, there has been already concern being shared that this expansion of military activities in Gaza could lead to more suffering, more casualties in Gaza, people who have been displaced multiple times already. We've seen also reaction from the families of the hostages who remain in captivity in Gaza, who say that this is a failed strategy, that military pressure hasn't resulted in the release of hostages who are in Gaza, and they say that the government should reach a deal with Hamas for those hostages to be freed. And I think lots of critics of the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will also be raising questions about his true motives of continuing with the war in Gaza. He has been accused by opponents of prolonging the war for political gains, to protect his coalition government. And I think a lot of people, will be hearing words as seizing territory, holding territory, and will be asking questions about the true objectives of the war in Gaza.
Yeah. And Hugo, Israel is now promising retaliation against Houthi rebels. So does this mean that we could see the U.S. intensifying attacks on Houthis?
Yeah, I think the image yesterday of a missile hitting near Ben Gurion Airport, which is the main international airport in Israel, was a surprise for many people, because this is a country that has one of the most sophisticated air defense systems with a very high success rate in intercepting missiles and rockets. So the military said it was investigating why this missile wasn't intercepted. Early findings of this investigation suggest that there was a problem with the interceptor that was fired, but we've seen that again the Prime Minister has promised to retaliate following this attack, and the Houthis are saying that these attacks are going to continue. They say that they are acting in support of Palestinians in Gaza as Israel's war against in Gaza continues. We've seen that there have been attacks already from the US military targeting positions in Gaza, and I think it's very likely that these attacks are going to continue.
And I also want to ask you about airlines, because some of them have stopped flights to Israel since the Houthi strikes over the weekend. Can you tell us more about this?
Yeah, there has been a lot of disruption with a number of companies cancelling flights, United, Delta, Air France, Air Canada, British Airways, Iberia, many others. So flights have been suspended, cancelled as a result of this attack. And this is likely to continue for a few days now as these announcements have been made. So affecting thousands of passengers trying to come to Israel or to leave Israel. So, the impact that this attack continues to have on the operations of Israel's main international airport.
Okay, Hugo Bachega with the BBC. Thank you so much for joining us on 24/7 today.